This video is part of a series talking about the question, how do I choose a counselor? Now, you're going to want to watch the earlier episodes or you're going to miss key aspects of this process and what we're talking about. As I mentioned in an earlier episode, typically when people come with this question of how do I choose a counselor, they're coming from three places. They're coming from, I've never had a counselor before, so I don't know what to look for. They're coming from, I had a counselor and it sucked and I don't want my next counselor to suck too. Or they're coming from my counselor was okay, but we just weren't accomplishing goals. What we've covered thus far in this series applies to all three stances, but definitely applies to those who have never had a counselor before. That knowing why you're going, what are your goals, knowing what your symptoms are and being able to explain those symptoms to your counselor, and knowing what is your counselor's background and what are they trained in, what are they good at. Next, you want to consider, what are you expecting from counseling? In particular, for people who have never been to counseling before, you have these expectations from movies, TV, from others. Just what is going to happen when you walk in that actual room for counseling? Are you going to lay on a couch and talk about your dreams? Are you going to be forced to talk about your childhood and cry a lot? Are you just going to get some advice and you have to go apply it and you'll feel better? Is it someplace where you're just going to go in and chit chat and hopefully something happens? We have these expectations about what might happen. Share those expectations with your counselor. Share with them, hey, this is kind of what I think counseling is going to be, but could you clarify for me how you approach counseling? Every counselor you work with should be able to describe to you how they approach counseling and their method for helping people achieve their goals. Do not hesitate to ask that. Hey, this is what I think counseling might be. Can you explain to me how you approach it and what I can expect? Then ask the question, and this is for everybody, how do you feel about going to counseling? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you embarrassed? Are you hopeful? Are you worried that it's going to be the same? Are you scared you're not going to know what to talk about? All those things come in. Tell your counselor about that. That when you go into counseling, you need to know that it's an interactive process. That the goal is through this interaction, you achieve your goals. So the more you interact with your counselor about your actual experience, the better chance there is of achieving your goals. If you come in and try and act like everything's okay when you're actually really scared about this process, that's going to get in the way of achieving your goals. So just put it out there. Hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I expect. Work with me on it. Set your counselor up to help you. Then, if you have been to counseling before, take a look at what worked. Like, was there anything from that prior counseling that worked? Whether it was group, couples, individual, whatever it might be, was there anything that was helpful? Because if there was, that'd be great if your new counselor could help you continue that success. That it's saying, I'm looking for a good counselor and I want to keep doing these things that I already know have helped. Then the opposite question, if counseling wasn't working, why? Was it the counselor had a lack of skill? Was it that they had a lack of direction? Was it that they were critical? Was it that they never listened to what you had to say? What was it about the prior counseling that didn't work? Then, question that I always ask my clients when they've come from another counselor, did you voice those concerns? Again, counseling is an interactive process. When a client comes to me and they're saying, hey, things aren't working with my current counselor, I'm switching, I encourage them, before you switch to me, discuss those concerns with your current counselor. One, as a professional, it honors that other counselor of saying, hey, you need to know why you're losing clients. I would hope for the same thing back to me. If clients are going to leave me because I'm being an ass or I'm not being helpful, I want to know that. because then I can change, I can adapt, I can grow. But it also builds a norm in the interaction that says we don't avoid issues, we address them. That I want you, if you have concerns, to talk to me about them. So for you, as someone who is looking for a counselor, have you started to develop that ability to have the conversation? Because the more you can interact with your counselor about your needs, your goals, your expectations, your concerns, not just about your issue, but about the experience of counseling, the better results you're going to get, the more effective the working relationship is going to be with your counselor.